Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Going over today's MLB main slate for today on DraftKings. It's not the best slate in the world. It's a 5-gamer. Not a lot of good pitching options at all, but there's some good stacking options. But the pitching's pretty gross, especially when Logan Allen's our best option. But we'll get through it. And anyway, before we continue, if you could leave a like, subscribe to our channel, I really appreciate that. And if you want access to this cheat sheet I'm showing you right now, and the pitching model and the hitting model, it's got projections on there. I'm not a big fan of projections for MLB, but it's got all the stats you need. It's color coded, which is what I mainly use it for. Projections. I mean, baseball is a very variant sport, so projections aren't big to me, but I do like looking at all the stats, and it's all right there for you. So that is available in the link below in the description. It takes you to my Patreon, and you can have your choices of UFC, PGA, NASCAR, and MLB, and all access. And when I do NFL, I'm going to keep that price the same, so you get an even better value. And we're over 40 strong on Patreon. It's more than I thought we would get, especially in the first 2 weeks, but I guess you guys like it. So thank you guys very much for all the support on there. And we also have a Slack chat where you can hang out and ask me questions throughout the day or whenever. All right, so anyway, let's get back into the cheat sheet. Like I said, the link for the Patreon will be in the description below. And if you're interested, just hop on board. All right, so anyway, SP1 for me is Logan Allen at 9,200. So there's not a lot at all for pitching on the slate, but Allen has looked good since his call up and gets the best matchup versus San Francisco. It was pretty weak versus left-handed pitching, and he's my #1 projected pitcher, and I'm agreeing with that. He's only 9,200, and I think he can probably get us about 20 points. So don't mind going with Allen. He's probably the safest pitcher on the board. Not too interested in anyone else really. So we're gonna have to take some stabs here at some riskier options. But I don't mind Ryan Yarbrough at 6,500. So like I said, not a lot of pitching options, but lefty versus Baltimore in a pitcher's park has my interest, especially at that price. He's gonna be coming in after Stanek, so he's the long reliever, which might lower his ownership a little bit, and people aren't paying attention, but people are pretty smart nowadays to know that. And he has had some decent games recently and before that, so don't mind going with Yarbrough. You should be able to get value there. And then Jeff Samardzija at 7,200. I don't like playing this guy, but I've only played him once all year, and he did get me over 30 points. That was way in the beginning of the year. So hopefully we go 2 for 2 on my calls for him. He hasn't been awful this year, and he has a decent park for pitching versus San Diego. And San Diego does struggle with right-handed pitching, so I think it's a decent spot at 7,200. And then a catcher, we have Yasmani Grandal at 4,900. Molly has extreme splits when it comes to lefties in a bad way, and we have a lot of good lefties here and a great park for hitting. So I have a lot of interest in the Brewers lefties. And I don't know if I'm saying that right. His name's either Maul or Molly. I've always said Molly, but I'm not sure. So, excuse me if I am saying it wrong. And then Pedro Severino at 3,700. Been crushing lefties this season, and we'll get to face one after the opener Stanek is done. I know I said I like Yarbrough, but I'm not oblivious to the fact that he's not a lockdown pitcher, so I don't mind Severino. But if I'm playing Yarbrough, obviously I'm not playing Severino because that just doesn't make sense. Then we have Jeff Mathis at 2K. He's the bare minimum facing a lefty in Texas, so he's definitely worth a look, in my opinion. It doesn't get cheaper than that. And then at first base, we have Eric Thames at 4,900. Love the Brewers lefties, and there's no shortage of them versus Molly. Thames is very good versus righties, and he's been hitting well recently. He had a really good game yesterday, too. Then Joey Votto at 4,300. This is one of my favorite games that stack up. They're in Great American Ballpark, and I like the offenses on both sides, and there's two not the best pitchers going on the mound. And Votto has been much better at the plate this month. And in the month of June, he was hitting over 300, so he's had a lot better plate discipline as well, and he's been looking pretty decent. So don't mind going with Votto. And then Derek Dietrich at 4,500. Really the same reasons as Votto, but he has much more home run and power upside, and he's been crushing righties this season, especially at home. So don't mind Derek Dietrich at all. Then second base, we have Mike Moustakas at 5K. Another Brewer lefty versus Molly. The Moose has been crushing right-handed pitching this season, and it's a great part for hitting. Then Dietrich we already talked about, and Hanser Alberto at 3,500. Yarbrough is going to be coming in after Stanek. Already said that, but Alberto has been very good versus lefties this season. But like I said, if I'm playing Yarbrough, probably not going to want to play Alberto. And then Manny Machado, 5,100. Really wasn't a lot at third base and shortstop I liked today. So it's like there's a bug in my hair or something. But he's on fire. Not in love with the matchup, but seriously, if you look at his game long, he's got double-digit points in 13 out of the last 15 games, and all those double-digit point games have been really high double-digit points. So he's on fire. It's about time. He started out not so well, but he's catching up. And then at shortstop, Elvis Andrus at 4,600. Not a lot in the shortstop position I'm too interested in, so I'm gonna take the guy in Texas, and he's not a scrub or anything. He's a very good hitter. He's hitting over 300 this year. He doesn't have a ton of power or anything, but very solid hitter, and I can see him being pretty popular, being this affordable and in Texas. And Manny Machado, talked about him, and then Andrelton Simmons, 3,500. He's the other guy I think is going to garner some ownership as well, being in this Texas game at a really cheap price tag at 3,500. Then in the high-priced outfield, we have Christian Yelich at 5,900. Love all the Brewers lefties, but the problem is they're very expensive, but it's a great park and spot for lefties, and Yelich is the top play from a raw projection standpoint, in my opinion, and according to my thing. And Mike Trout, 5,600. Never going to tell you to not play Mike Trout. I don't like really picking on Mike Minor, but we don't have, the options are limited on this slate. So, Mike Trout can always go double down. And then Joey Gallo, 5,500. Lefty on lefty, but I don't really care with Gallo's power. He's been smashing lefties this season, but the problem is just making contact. But I do love the park. And in the mid-range outfield, we have Kyle Schwarber at 3,900. I'm not sure why DK keeps him at this price, but he's going to be a core play for me versus a righty that he does have 2 homers off of as well. So I don't mind going with Kyle Schwarber again. He's going to be chalky, I would assume, especially being that affordable. And then Jesse Winker at 4K. Always love him versus righties, where his numbers are drastically much better. Over a 200 ISO versus righties this season. And then Jason Hayward at 4,400. He is on fire. He gets to face another righty in Trevor Williams. So I don't mind these Cubs lefties. Anthony Rizzo, Kyle Schwarber, Jason Hayward. Might be forgetting someone else, but don't mind them. And then it could be like a lower owned stack. I can't imagine much people are going to do a Cub stack, but I do think it's interesting. And Anthony Rizzo, if I remember correctly, he is pretty good in PNC Park. It's just something about it. Kind of like how Goldschmidt's good in I believe it's Miller Park, so kind of the same thing. And then value outfield, we have Justin Upton at 3,800. I didn't list too many value guys because with the pitching being kind of low, you're not really going to have to go dumpster diving today. So I don't mind going down to Justin Upton at 3,800. Not a fan of picking on Mike Minor, but we have limited options on the slate, and it is in Texas, and Upton has always been good versus left-handed pitching. Then if we go to some of the core plays, I got Logan Allen at 9,200. I think he's the clear number 1 play at pitcher. And then in the outfield, Kyle Schwarber 3,900. Then I want to try my best to expand up to Christian Yelich. And I do think it's doable with how low pitching is. And you could either punt a catcher or just spend down at shortstop. But there's definitely ways to do it. And then the top stacks for me are going to be the Brewers lefties, the Reds, and the Texas game. And then I guess the Cubs lefties could be kind of interesting, but I almost put them down there, but I'm not too interested in it. I kind of like them more as one-offs. And then I'll fill out the yellow stuff for the Patreon members. So remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate that. I forgot to say my saying. That's all I have for the video. But yeah, anyway, if you want access to all the other stuff, remember my link will be in the description below for Patreon. And I wish you guys the best of luck tomorrow.